Your environment influences you because it is what happens in your environment that then lets you know what you want to become. Somebody can say, because there's so many children that are suffering and they don't get real treatment, I want to become a pediatrician. I want to go to school, become a doctor, and treat children. Or somebody will be like, around my place, when women want to do their hair, they travel to another place to go and do hair. I want to learn how to do hair, so that I'll be the one that is doing hair for people. I have a friend who traveled out of Nigeria. She learned how to do this hair because her grandmother doesn't cut her hair because she belongs to a particular religious sect. So they have to do cornrows every 3 days because her hair grows. Her grandmother has, you know that man beard? She has hair on her shoulders, her body like that. She's very hairy. And so the mom taught her how to do hair. And she will plait this kind of hair, sweetheart. This kind. If she does this like this today, the next day when she wants to do it, she has to do another design. If you notice, there are some people who are carrying the same design, some people are carrying different design. The simple one is, you know those combs, those wooden combs that have 3 hands like this, that you use to split this thing. That's what she used to use. No other things, no other tools. Those were the only tools that she had, and the creative idea. So when she's coming back from school, she will tell the grandma, there's this design that I saw that I want to do. The grandma will say, okay, when we wash the hair in the morning, you will do it. And then she will do it and go to school. And after a while, she then got admission and went to boarding school. In boarding school, she would do for some friends. But what really then happened was that she wanted to become an accountant. And so she became an accountant, started working with IMB. IMB was a bank back in the days. And grew to become a senior manager. Got married, life happened, she and her husband parted ways. The husband married another person, and so she was taking care of 2 children, and she said, let me relocate to Canada. And she relocated to Canada. Then she found out that it was $80 to do hair. When she wanted to do her hair, she's like, $80. Hey. This thing that I do for play. But let me tell you what that means. Is that when she moved to an environment, so it's, let me tell you another story that drives home the point of an environment. I'm sure you've heard this story before. Stand up, please. Who's the tallest guy here? Come. Any other tall guy again? Okay, this is not tall now, this is long. Come. Your environment means you should work in NEPA. So that one, you don't need ladder to cut lights. You just go there, you have not paid your bills. You have not paid your bills. All right, so stand in front like this. So, no, stand, just stand in front like this. Now, this is an environment. This is his reality. And so when you have 8, 9, 10, 15 people like this around you, what does it mean? It means that they will block your view all around. And in life, everybody has this kind of reality. It can be cash, it can be talent, it can be skills, it can be anything. But this is your obstacle. But you see, this obstacle did not mean to block you. This is how he was created. If he has better schooling, has better parents, they take him to school, drop him in school, it's his advantage. Your reality is that you have to jump on a bus and go to school. You have to sometimes go to school without food. But you see, he is blocking you because you can't see past him because you are thinking, this guy is blocking me. So, but you see, you've read that story many times, heard it many times, but it doesn't strike you like this. Let me tell you, bring it home. So, there's a man called Zacchaeus who said, I want to see Jesus. Goal. I want to see Jesus is his goal. So what was his challenge? Everybody around him was this tall. What did he do? He changed environment. Do you understand what it means? He changed environment. He didn't stay here and say, oh, kind of thing is this now? You just long like this? Is this Indomie or what? What kind of are these people serve? He didn't do that. He did something. You have to do something. And that thing you do is based on how much you want to achieve your goal. If you check your this thing there, did you write your goals? Go sit down. It's simple. Everything in life will be a challenge if you don't have a reason to get to your goal. Now, why do we study? Why do we go to school? You go to school because they want to empower you so that when the challenges now stand in front of you, you have a way to go around it and get a better life. What happens most times is that they put you through school, but you still want somebody to help you remove that obstacle. Why do you get all the training that you need? Why are you here? This is seeking a better tree. So let me tell you how that works. And right at the back, this is another person here. Right at the back, there's somebody who can see past these people that are his challenges. And then you see, I'll get to that point later, but then there's a tree. He relocated to that tree. There are two things that would happen for you to get proper benefit of this tree. You must first make up your mind. So, look at this thing. So, there's a goal. There's a challenge. There's a decision to be made. There's an action to be taken on that decision. Are you seeing the progression? So there must be, okay, for instance, oh, I'm hungry. It's a reality. I want to eat eba. It's a goal. I'm going to the kitchen to go make eba and make soup and eat. It's a decision. I have to eat. That's a decision. Then the action is actually going to go and make the eba and eat. Which is why we say, if you like, pray from now till tomorrow. And you're hungry and you're lying on that bed. God will not make eba for you. If you've not had a bath, you've not had a bath. That's, what I tell a lot of young children is, know that there's a limit for prayer. Prayer is the key. It answers everything. There's a place for prayer. There's a place for action. That's why they said faith without works is what? Let me repeat it. Faith is prayer. Works is action. So, I want to go to Abuja. Father Lord, I want to go to Abuja, and I don't buy tickets. I don't find a way to jump on trailer. I don't find free ride. But I'm praying, Father Lord, I want to go to Abuja. You won't get there. I want to win 2 million naira in lottery. It's a faith, it's prayer. I want to win. It's aspiration. And I don't buy tickets. And I'm waiting for them to announce my number. You must work. You must have a goal, and just having that goal, then there must be a challenge. You have that goal. What are the challenges that are? If you have a goal and there's no challenge, then it's not a goal. It's a given. Let me tell you how a given is. You are a student. You don't work for your school fees. The school fees is not your goal. The school fees is your goal for your parents. So, time for school fees comes, they give you the school fees, you go pay. You don't have a goal. Your goal is to pass. The person who's paying the school fees is the one that has the challenge. You don't have a challenge with school fees. But if you then have a challenge with school fees, how do you then meet that challenge? So this is it. Now, when you change location, it's like a lot of people that are jackpotting. It is changing location. Same thing like this. They have a goal in life. The challenge in Lagos is too much and Nigeria is too much. They took a decision. And the action that follows that decision is jackpot. You buy a ticket and relocate to another tree, to a tree. Now, what is the purpose of relocating to a tree? It is so that you can get a better... Simple. These people are blocking your view. APC, PDP, sorry. These people are blocking your view. Right? And so, you are now thinking, let me move from that place so I can get better view. But you see, that decision that you even still take, until you take an action that will cancel out this challenge, you are still in the same place. So, you move from that place like this. Oh, I can't see. Then you move to another place. If the place you move to still has about like 4 or 5 tall people again, you still have the same problem. So, you must change location and change position. There must be something that makes you better. Or there must be something that you improve yourself with when you go to the new place. Let me explain how going to the new place and changing location and changing position is. So you leave Nigeria. When you were here, you weren't hustling because you know that thing they say, I'm not going for the interview, Jerry. They will not let me get the job. They already have the people that they want to employ. I'm sitting for JAM. I'm getting 210, 215. But quota system is letting some other people that have 80 get into university, 100 get into university. But me that had 200 not get in. Then you go to another place. What you need to do is when you move to this tree, you must climb. So this is the first direction. And then the next one is the next direction. That's why they say, when you change location, you must up your game. It's either that or here that you are, you up your game here. There are 2 ways to do it. You find a way to get something to stand on that will make you see above these people, or you let your challenges then make way for you. You know how challenge make way for you? It's like the woman with the issue of blood. Everybody blocked her now. But when she came with this smelling, people were her problem was making way for her. People were like, who is this? As they were doing this, she was getting chance. It's like you get in a place where you have challenges, you must turn on every skill that you have. Now, let me talk about skills. Skills set us apart. And when I mention these things, you can write it under it so that you know what that box is about. So you get the explanations. Every time you see this mind map, you quickly go to what that means. So skills, anything you learn that can make you climb a better tree, that can make you beat a competition, that can make you stand out, is a skill. It could also be the same skill that, for instance, there's a scarcity of left footers in football. When I say scarcity, if they find a better left footer that plays like the guy in Real Madrid, what was his name? No, the other one that had dreadlock before in Real Madrid that time. Marcelo. If they find somebody that is that good and young, they will sign him. Celestine Babayara and some other people, the luck they had was that they had the left leg. It's not that he was playing fantastic football. But with that left leg, it means that when he holds the ball on this side, he can distribute it 5 ways. Back to the keeper, straight to this wing here, put it in the middle, or feed the 2 people on this other side. It is given that everywhere you find one left footer that is very good with his left foot, you find 10 right footers. The left footer is scarce. So when you find one that knows how to play with his left, and gradually he is getting a lot of offers, you know what he can do to become a better person is to learn skills that will make him even add his right foot. And as soon as he adds his right foot, he's increased his skills. And what will happen? Competition then becomes stronger. It's like you go to a place and you say, I'm looking for a graduate. And one person says, yes, I am a graduate. The skills that is needed will come later, but the first thing is that he is looking for a graduate. So when he then finds a graduate in you, then you then say, but I have a master's in banking and finance. You know what that means? You have an edge. If he had 5 people that have first degrees, then you now say, but I have a master's in banking and finance. Say, you have separated yourself from all of them. Let me bring something close to you. And bring something home. 10 women, 10 ladies, brides, went to find a groom. 10. And all of them showed up there. But 5 of them carried masters. The other ones that had first degree were like, we're already brides. The fact that we have first degree, we are brides. And then when they showed up there, bride, first degree expired. And those ones brought their masters and put it. So when those ones were going to do extra classes to get masters, these ones just brought their own and said, I have this one too. And what is that? It is that you have to be prepared. Learn skills, get educations, learn a lot of things. I have some friends who had traveled to the UK. One particularly, the story is very interesting. Traveled and he said he wanted to work as a civil engineer. So he traveled with his civil engineering certificate. 2-1, strong 2-1. When I say strong 2-1, I have 4.4. Strong 2-1. And so he gets to, that's 3.4. So he got to the US, was squatting with a guy. But sometime here, his brother had told him, you know what, when I go to work, this is my Toyota Tassel. There's a car that used to be called Toyota Tassel. I don't know if any of you remember it, Toyota Tassel. It's the one that followed Toyota Stanza and all of it. He said, maybe you can be using it to do kabu-kabu. He said, bros, I don't know how to drive. He said, then learn how to drive. So instead of sit at home, waiting for result to come, learn how to drive. So he went to Fade and started learning how to drive. So he learned how to drive. He was grumbling. He said, it's because bros just wants me to be walking. All this driving, this. So he drove for a while. Then after a while, he was getting money. As the money was coming, he was inspired by the money, not by the job. But he was getting money, he could do something. So one day, the brother came from work and said, go and buy egg, buy this. But I said, I bought eggs. I bought granite, I cooked stuff, I cooked stew. Bro said, you cooked? He said, where did you get? He said, I should be. His brother had never asked him for money. Then one day the brother and I came and said, these people have not brought NEPA bill, because they share the NEPA bill around this and they know how many points you have. They share. So they shared the NEPA bill. And he said that these people have not brought NEPA bill. It is nearly 2 months. He said, yes, they've brought, but I've paid it. You know what it did? It emboldened him. It empowered him. He now felt like, I'm not a squatter anymore. I'm contributing a bit. instead of just sitting at home and waiting for one thing to come. But after a while, he found a way to travel out. I must become this engineer overseas. So he traveled. He was there hustling, struggling, trying to get some. And then one day, he was coming out of the apartment and he saw a woman trying to get into a car, pregnant woman trying to get into a car and drive to a hospital. And the woman was saying, oh, please help me get in the car. I need to just get to the hospital. I think the what's it called? The contractions are coming. The contractions are coming. I need to get to the hospital. They said as soon as I suspect that I have contractions, I should come. But the thing hit me today. I feel like, and so he told the woman, he said, okay, let me help you put. So put the things in. As he was going, the woman's water broke. But the hospital was not far. With the water that had broken, that woman just couldn't make it. Unless somebody comes and gets, and then that knows about childbirth, encourages her to get the distance. She couldn't make it. And so he gets in the car and drives to the, no driver's license, but this is an emergency. He drives there, drops to the scene. Turns out that the woman's husband owns a haulage company. And the man was just too thrilled to know that somebody helped. So he asked himself, do you have a driver's license? He said, no. Got him a driver's license, made him a purchasing director, and then gradually, the guy is a big boy now, owns his own haulage firm. Because he knew how to drive. If he didn't know how to drive, at the time that that woman had that thing, all he would be doing is looking for where to call somebody that knew how to drive. So skills you learn, either in school or from the family, they are important. So you see how all of these tie together. Now, about friends. You need to have friends that influence you or challenge you. Have friends, write that under it. Friends who help you become better by challenging you, support you to become better, or become a great example. Or friends that you can bandy things with. Oh, they said so and so. That will be like, oh, no, don't mind them. That's not true. They be like your filtration process. You run things through them. They'll tell you whether that works or not. I have a friend who said, there was one time he had this friend and he was telling the friend, said, my handwriting is very bad though. Anytime they say I should write something, I'm always ashamed. And that one said, but just learn how to write cursive. He said, learn how to write like this. I have 6 handwritings. And you can write or if you're in a class and you are writing very fast, because if you are in a lecture class, some lecturers are not repeating themselves and you're taking notes down. Only you know that you have written the boy. If anybody sees it, they think you wrote MRB codeine or paracetamol like doctors will write. All right? Now, the other thing is that tools. What are tools? One of the tools that you people enjoy in this age is Google. In our time, Google, we did not see Talklet or Google. We had to go to, you have to go to the library and look for an encyclopedia and find any of those things that you want. Nowadays, somebody was telling me the other day, oh, my phone, it's not working. I said, so Google it now. And the person said, but the phone itself is not working now. So I said, really? He said, yes, okay. So after a while, I saw him chatting with a friend. And the friend was showing him videos. So he was watching the videos. I said, Hannah, I said, have you sorted your phone? He said, bros, I tell you, say, not the work. I said, but your friend, they show you video. He said, yes. Why you not tell your friend? Say, help me Google how to reboot my phone. I said, bros, you talk that one. Then he called one guy. The guy now checked it on his own phone that was working and said, do hard reset. Then I knew how to tell him to do hard reset, but that would be like spoon feeding him. Then he now did hard reset. Then the thing died, and all of a sudden the Samsung sign came out. He said, bros. He said, when I tell people now, they will think say I know him. But that is how knowledge is passed. There are 3 ways that you learn. 1, personal experience. 3 ways you learn, personal experience. 2, seeing somebody who did it and learning from that. And the 3rd is reading about it. That is learning from somebody who has documented how. So it could be online, on Google, or anywhere. But those are the 3 ways you learn. Personal experience, third-party experience, or encountering the person that did it firsthand. So you need all of that. So the tools that you use, one of the things is tool. I'll finish from here now and leave. Unless you have documented these things that I'm saying, it will be hard for you to review some of them and use them as a checklist. Exposure. There are certain times that somebody gives you an opportunity to learn for free. Don't miss the opportunity. Somebody says, oh, come and volunteer. We're talking to people. Oh, say, yeah, volunteering. Now, this is another story of Jakpa. They had this association, Rotary Club. They will call people, come, let's go and help old people, help them, teach them this. This guy, I'm not going. But the brother was going. And so they will go there, help the people lay their beds, change their mattress, turn the mattress out, take their dirty clothes, give to the laundry people to wash, get people with them that will be washing. So when Rotary Club goes to those places, they get people who wash clothes. They carry water and everything, soap, everything. So when they get there, they tell the old people, you can bring your things, we'll help you wash them and, put them. Now, the one that was going learned how to do that, but 2 of them traveled. And so when they got there, somebody said, there's a job, $40 per hour. Will you do it? He said, what? Say, taking care of old people. That one said, yes, now. And was going to take care of the old people. One of the old people he was taking care of asked him, how come you speak English so well? Where are you from? He said, Africa, Nigeria. And I said, never been there, don't know where that place is. So the man told him that he has just one daughter who had moved to Australia and said she's not coming to America again. But he has money that is in a foundation and he needs somebody to manage it. Because he's heard that the girl his daughter that moved to Australia has a child. And he wants to keep that money for that child. But he needs him to manage it first. And he'll be paying him salaries from being the manager of the trustee manager. His brother that did not learn how to take care of people missed out on the opportunity. So what I was saying, when people ask you, so this is exposure. When people ask you, you know NYC is an exposure? Yes. Big exposure. When you are in church and they say, oh, people that will work in media team, you finish from church, you close and go home. When you come, they make an announcement. Who wants to be in media team? You close and go. There's a girl that is on her rise now. It was from making an announcement in church that somebody saw her. In 2004. So in church, they will say, okay, a few announcements, and then she had this voice and she was reading it, and they picked her. So what am I saying? Try to see when there's a chance to volunteer to do something, do it. Offer your services as much as it is exposure, and your exposures will help you. Now, what are your weaknesses? I'll tell you one weakness. If you are like me, I weigh 107 kg. It looks like a radio station, Abi. 107.4. That's what I weigh. That's what I weigh. And I'm trying to bring it down, but that late night food will not let it happen. You know, because let me tell you a story. I told my wife one time, I said, once it's past 7, not eating, don't make any food for me. And I came back home one day, 10 p.m. I entered, I climbed the staircase up. I went down again. I called the girl. I said, Daddy, welcome. I said, yes. I said, help me make small ola. What soup is there? He said, oh, the one that is not defrost is, I think she said, egusi. I said, just add small pepper and bring. She said, She now said, Mommy said we should close kitchen by 7. I said, if I... She now said, okay. So she started doing it. So I went upstairs. So after a while, my wife noticed that because when I get home like that, I'll brush, have a bath, and sleep. Oga never brush. So my wife was like, babes, are you going out again or is there something? I said, no, I'm okay. Then they knocked. He said, who's that? I said, oh, it's Imabo. He said, what is Imabo looking for? I said, I sent her to make something for me. She said, it's a lie. Is it tea or coffee or what are they making for you? When they opened the kitchen, when she opened the door, the smell followed her in. My wife said, I will record this. I said, you record anything you want to record. I want to swallow. That's it here. So sometimes I will drop to 104, 103. My normal weight should be like 98, between 95 and 98. But that 10 kg, God Almighty. Swallow will not let it happen. So what I'm trying to say is weaknesses. Your weaknesses can stand between you and succeeding in everything. 1, temper. You want to be an air hostess. You want to be a receptionist. You want to be a teacher. You want to be a banker, but you have temper. It will be hard. With this, my weight, it is hard for me to win 100 meters. And if you are like my tall friend that is there, it will be hard for you because it's a weakness. It's not a disability. It's something that is standing between you and something. So, like this, my guy here, one of his disadvantages if he decides to play basketball will be height. He can spring and drop balls, but he can't block people who are taller than him. But he can spring. He can. My wife is about his height, but when she's playing basketball, you know that this one was a backie at the time, and so it's important for that to be sorted. It's your weaknesses. My friend told me one time that they employed this girl, sweet face, voice is awesome on the phone, but she had bad attitude. So somebody will come, good afternoon, I'm here to see so-and-so, it's okay. Then she will take the number down. After a while, the person will be like, hello, I told you before. He said, I've heard you now. So when they told him that that's how she... And let me tell you one other thing that gave her that decision. Because she's a fine girl. People tolerate, men who tolerate. When a girl is fine, she can say some very useless things and the man will be like, you yeah. You can be cracking jokes like this. I said, I want to see a guy, you are just telling me nonsense. Yeah. But let one ugly girl not even say something. Let the ugly girl just ignore him. You hear? Tell me you didn't hear when I said. So it is that some people will make excuses for you. And it's the same thing with rich people. So you see, some people have weakness for wealth and weakness for character. When we were playing football in Warri back in the days, There used to be this thing they call, not windows, like they call them louvers. When you play, fly carpet will not burst the louvers, but that leather ball or crocro, that number 5. If you play that number 5 and it hits the window, bang, one, you hear bang, one. The boys that are poor are the first to take off. The ones that they know that their parents will not have shingbang to drop, they are the first to take off. Then the ones that will know that their parents can buy the louvers are the ones that go and pick the ball. Then as they are picking the ball, you just hear the woman say, "Hey, come. Now you break this window. Now you break it, you pay." The boy say, how much be window safe? Stop us. Then they beat us 2-0. You they talk window. You they don't know what boys. Then they beat us 2-0. Wait, come. Go tell mama say we'll break window. Oh yeah, pass. But you see, it's because there's money. So when you see some fine girls, somebody will call them, "Hello, can I have your number?" Because she's fine. "Oh, please. Oh, please." Bad market never hold you. That's why. Okay, but that said, it is that your weaknesses are also part of you. Your weaknesses are part of you, how you manage it. In 2006, I think it was okay to mention her name. I was coming back from Abuja, and this woman was in the car, in our vehicle to the airport, talking about, "Oh, my husband, everything. Oh, my husband said, okay, my husband will come and pick me." One girl that was there said, "Madam, I beg, you are not the only one that has husband, please." Everything husband said. My husband said that's how people talk. So when we landed, and people carrying their bags, we're carrying our bags. She just carried her bag, just came out. The husband just came, grabbed the bags. Carried it. Honk guy, carried the bags, went to put inside her car. So I was telling one of the guys, I said, "You see, this woman, she can make that man do anything because of how there's a Yoruba word for the way she key the man. The key ability of this is, she's carried. The man will do anything. And when they put everything, then she now opened the door. She sat down. I said, "You see, one day one woman will say, 'What is it that he even gave this man?'" She is his weakness. And when you have that kind of weakness, it can be good or bad. If you have a weakness for your children, you can spoil them. That weakness that makes you say, this is the only child I have. The child becomes a weakness. Instead of you to be strong for the child. I'd gone with Patrick Doyle to go and see one man, the man that owns, there's this fine coat, paint company called Fine Coat. He used to have a program called Real Estate this week, Patrick Doyle on NTA. They talk about buildings and all of that, real estate. So when he went to collect money for sponsorship the man had placed on the program. Sat there, we're talking, and this small child came. Don't forget, Patrick Doyle's weakness is sponsorship. He came to collect his money. I didn't have that weakness. No, mega program. So this boy will come with his water gun. Psst. In Patrick Doyle's face, Patrick Doyle will say, "Come on, stop me, Junior! Junior! Then he would do it again. But the boy knew that I was looking at him with bad eye. Then the water was nearly finished. He now came to where I was. In my mind, I said, "Then born you well." Either born you well, shoot that thing. Then he now shook it. Big this thing, like that big thing that you can see the water inside, those transparent this thing. But so I saw him pressing the thing so that the water will come to the loading bay. He was pressing the thing. The water had gotten to the lower. I knew that water touched me. So I was telling him, I said, "You're too far." I use worry sense. I say, "You're too far. You need to move close so you can hit me well." Small picky will not get said. In that case, at least from there, if I do like this, I will grab him. So it's Patrick Dre that had weakness, so I don't have weakness. I said there was one he played to where Patrick Dre was. He did it. Patrick was not saying, "Hey," and then went and hit Patrick Dre. "Yeah, I got you. I got you." So I now readied my leg because I need a pounce if I miss that first one. Because if you fold your leg, before you losing the leg to the boy, don't climb staircase. So I waited for him. In my head I was saying, weakness. I said, today you see. Then the boy just shot the thing. The water had not even reached here. I saw the water coming. I grabbed his hand. He said, "Leave me, uncle, leave me, uncle." And as I was holding him, he was saying, "Leave me, uncle." I said, "Yeah, me and you, yeah." So that anybody upstairs will be like they are playing. They play. I waited for the rascal to think that I will free him a bit so that he doesn't shout. Because I have learned how to deal with all those stubborn children. Has a child put hand in your eye before? Those children that they don't cut their nails. You want to turn me to Cobams? This boy, as he was just doing, just put his hand like this. So I closed that one that he put his hand in, and I went under his feet. That one they won't see it. Under a child's feet. Pinch him. See, I held this thing, I held one. I'm sure I held to his core vein. I pressed the thing, I pressed it again. So I twisted this like I was removing pimples. Pa! The boy said I released him. That leg that I did, he hopped upstairs with it now. He went upstairs. I was watching him go upstairs. They went up. Then he came down. I was pointing. Patrick was like, "Ali, these are children." I said, "Bros, you won't pluck my eye out." The boy didn't come. So from upstairs, the boy will be doing his gun like this. "I'll shoot you." Then I do like I get up. He will run. From upstairs on by the balcony, they will say, "I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you, uncle. I'll shoot you." I say, "Calm down." I said, "Calm down. You are too far. Come, so that the water can touch me here." I showed the boy like, "You are not doing that again." So weaknesses make you allow a lot of things and permit a lot of things, and makes you give excuses. You know, some people tell you, "I don't like reading." It's a weakness. But what's the consequence? You will not learn. Some people will see newspaper, they won't read. But somebody that read that newspaper will see vacancy. Some people will see newspaper, they won't read. But it's inside that newspaper that you then see that somebody is recruiting. And inside that place that you hear that somebody is giving scholarship to some people. So it's important. Now, partnerships. Partnerships help to balance out weaknesses. If you are very good with people talking, you can communicate with anybody, relate with people, and listen. If you set up a company, you should be the one that's in charge of sales, marketing. Let the person who has admin skills handle admin. But you see, we have people these days that you know that you don't have some skills. But instead of get partnership that work and benefit you, no. It is why they say the person selling a wagon likes to move around with the person selling agege bread. Because sometimes the fact that I've not seen agege bread, I won't buy beans and be waiting. But as soon as I see beans, It is the same reason that makes people have mechanic workshops at filling stations. Because people drive in there to buy fuel, they can be like, my tire, oh, my oil, oh, service, or this one. All right? So partnership always helps. If you are a good script writer, you need to find somebody who is a good director. Even if you're a good director, you can't write, direct, produce. You'll be spreading yourself thin. Goals. Goals, there's not much I'll say about goals except that your goals must be based on reality and facts. I told you, if one of your goals, all of you here, is that you want to fight Israel Adesanya, it's possible. But that goal must now have steps towards achieving it. If you decide that you want to become the best newscaster, you have to now work on diction, pronunciation, and glossary. Your words and your ability to pronounce words, understand them, and read. For instance, if you have short sight, it's hard for you to read, except that's why you say a lot of newscasters wear glasses, because if there's a prompter and you have to see it, you can't read the prompter, you can't read news like this. So you have to wear glasses. All right? And why I said goals are based on reality is that if you are a stammerer, you won't read network news. Should I repeat that? If you are a stammerer, there's no way you read network news. In spite of the fact that we're a permissive society, you will not one day tune to network news and you hear, good evening, this is Bimbo Aderi Bigbe in the 10 o'clock news. With me on the news is and you know, stammerers don't let you complete words for them. It's an insult. It's an insult. So I'm trying to say with Goke, Adegbeson, go. And then the person says Goke, Adegbeson, I said go. They would want to complete it. Now, that is reality, right? It is the same way if you are on my weight like this, or with Benga Deinka's weight, or Wande Cole's weight, you are not winning 100 meters. You are not winning 100 meters. Even if the person that you are beating you want to run with is Usain Bolt, and he says, run from 50 meters, you will still not win. Because there is a lot more weight that you are carrying, and your velocity is also built into it. And so all of you that did physics, you know what I'm talking about. Now, competition. Your competition is important because it helps you grow. Your competition lets you know what is happening. So these are the things your competition will do for you. So I'll give you an example. Sometime back, it was in 2007, Saraki wanted to be governor. And so they called me. And okay, so I sell ideas. Sometimes if some of you follow me on Instagram, you see that they wrote ideas generator. I sell ideas. I'm good a bit at it. So they were talking about it. And I said, what is it, the competition? They have imams, they are talking to the imams, they have a lot of people they are relating with. And so the competition, so I said, you know what we'll do? I said, we'll infiltrate the mosque. He said, no, it's not. I said, no, that's not it. I said, it's ideas. I said, when do they pray? 5 times a day. And then Friday is special prayers. Friday is Odogu. Jumat. Where? Mosque. How? They do ablution. And then they use mats. Call to prayer. How do they get called to prayer? They use speakers. I said, why do they have to pray? They say, because the prophet, peace be on his name, Muhammad, demands that they do it. Okay, so what do they do before they pray? They wash their hands, they do ablution and all of that. So I said, if we do all these things, we don't need imam. He said, how? I said, fine. Buy 2 tankers, fill them with water. Buy GP tanks, put them in all the mosques. Buy small ones. The mosque is not big, you put a 200 liters. The mosque is big, you put a 500 liters. Get your people to build a stand, put the tank, fill the water, clean the GP tank off, write Saraki, Bukola Saraki for governor. Write it on the tanks. Find kettles, those small kettles. Print the logo of PDP on them. So every day they are pouring water to wash their hand. The logo is in their face. I say, give them mats. Buy colors that look like your party. So subconsciously, you are building an idea. By the way, there is one of them that still doesn't talk to me, one of their commissioners. Apparently, they had budgeted 250 million to talk to, to spread to imams and all those things. Then I came, the idea that I brought was not up to 50. So it saved them about 200 million. So what then happened? Even mosques that were not in Kwara, that were in Kogi, were asking that they should bring water and give them. Why? Because you are just connected with a need. You connected with a need. So blow your competition out of the space. Somebody has asked me once, he said, why do they call you king of comedy? You see, I create jokes and I give them to comedians. I create. I know I won't use it, I'll create and give to comedians. I can, make 4 or 5 jokes. And so it's a constant. But you see, there's some people, once they create 4, those jokes, it's still there to day part. They'll tell it here, tell it there, tell it tomorrow, tell it next week, tell it when you are not a DJ. Okay, so it's best to study your competition. Don't worry, I'm rounding up shortly. Mentors. It's important to have mentors. Now, mentors are different from role models. Mentors you interact with one-on-one. Role models you see from a distance. Oprah Winfrey can be your role model. But the girls on your view can be your mentors if you have a one-on-one relationship with them. But if you don't, then it still becomes a role model. So you let them inspire you from a distance. Now, this is you. It is connecting all of this together that will make you a better person. Whether it is in the tech world, whether it is in the personal life, whether it is in your career, whatever you decide to do, it is putting all of this to play. Now, who knows the story of Moses in Egypt? If you know the story, raise your hand. Moses? Okay, so the Egyptians found out that the Israelites were having male children. When they say male children, all their children were hefty, well-blooded. And the male children were not only a problem for Egypt, was a problem for their women. Because their women were preferring the Egyptians, they're preferring the Israelites to the Egyptians. Now, the Egyptians were Arabs, so the Israelites had those, those beards, like John the Baptist, like the 12 disciples, all of them bearded like that. But the Egyptians were all clean, clean shaven. They were all sculptured. They're Phoenicians, kind of. They're Phoenicians. Now, it became a problem, and the Egyptians were saying, very soon, all our wives and daughters will be following these Israelites. And on top of it, if there's war now, there's no way we can fight them. So a situation arose. And so the king decided the best way to deal with it is to kill all male children. Because you can't stop the women from having the children anyway. And even the women don't go to hospital. They will give the birth by themselves, cut the cord, birth the child. Meanwhile, the Egyptian women were going to hospitals to get cut and children brought out, and some of them were not even having children as well, because the history, I told you I read religious studies and philosophy, the history said that Egyptian women like to be slim, and getting pregnant messes up that shape. So they always wanted to be slim. So if you see any of those their wall paintings, you never see an Egyptian woman that is fat on any of them, no. And their men too like to have very thin waists. Just anytime you find it, and just check Egyptian artwork as far back as 14 something. Maybe the artist was too lazy to draw fat, but it was the truth. All right. So they decided, anytime you see male children of the Israelites, kill them. So reality, problem, solution, tools, connection, that's partnership, information, exposure, tools, skills, friends. I want to tie everything together, so yours and goals, environment, family. If you read that story of Moses, Moses' father was not mentioned. The father of Moses was not mentioned in play at all. You see, there are certain things that you will do for yourself to achieve things. You don't need your family. You don't need a partner. You don't need your spouse for you to succeed in certain things. Now, so the reality is that kill all male born. That was the problem. And this instruction was given, and that's the reality. Anywhere they see the male child, they'll kill the child. And they actually kill them at birth. The problem was now, how do you then hide your child? And you know some children, if they cry here, you know whether it's a male child that is crying. So what would then be the solution? So, tools, connections, partnerships, information and aspirations, exposure. Friends, goals. So, when I finish telling you the story about Moses and the basket, you will begin to see how all of this ties together. And this is it. The woman made a basket, put Moses inside the basket, and put at the place where the princess will see the child. It looks like a straight story, but you see, it must mean that she has studied the environment. Because the other thing is, the reality is that you must study certain things. You must also know, you must have partners. Somebody must actually have told you, or information must have reached you. So you need to be listening to news or getting information before you take any project on. Read and get informed. Be exposed to a lot of information. For you to know that the princess goes there to have a bath, it's important. Because if you go put a child there at 2 p.m. and princess doesn't come till 7 p.m., the child will just die. Or if she comes to have a bath, or if she comes there to have a bath at 7 a.m. and next time she comes again, it's 7 a.m. again, you go there and put the child at 10. Now, one other quick partnership that I'll mention is that after they put the child in the basket, what did she do? She put somebody to manage the basket. You must have partners. So the sister, Martha, was Miriam was there to make sure that the baskets did not float away from the place. And what does that say? The word not float away from the place is telling you that the princess will not come to have a bath in stagnant water. The water must be fresh. And if the water, any water that is fresh is flowing. And if the water is flowing, when you put the basket on that water, it will float away. So you then have somebody who comes to do quality control and put the person back. So you need people. That's why you need some mentors who will continue to direct you and push you back into good place. So if you have an idea or have something, until you then get people, that's why footballers need managers. Because you know how to play, but you don't know where the market is. You don't know how to negotiate. So when you get all those kind of people, they're the ones that will then look and say, yes, I think it's enough with Napoli. Let's move to Bayern. Or, oh no, we need big bucks. Let's go to Man U. Or I heard that some Arabs are buying into Southampton. Let's move to Southampton. So something like that. So now, the other thing is partnership. The partnership is that there's a woman who is with the princess that said, I know an Israeli woman, that will take care of this child. So clearly, this person was the one that was feeding her information. It was the one that was telling her, she doesn't have child though. Can you imagine if the princess had 4 children? Then you come and put one inside basket and put that. She would just say, who is this one again? I beg, carry, I want to swim. So you can see how all of that ties in. But you also must be schooled and educated and informed, because you know that that basket did not sink. So you must have done something about it. You must know how to package it. How do you prepare your proposals to even get attention of some people? Some people will write application letter here. You will not know whether a person is asking for money or the person is just whining you. You'll be reading, you will say, this one, they whine me. So, now, tools. The basket is a tool. Information is a tool. All of this just makes you know that you have to have all this in 360 to become the best. If you have questions, we'll take the questions and then I'll run. I'm hungry. All right? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions on anything at all, even apart from what I taught? Any questions? Yes? Yes, please. How to determine if somebody is your competition or your partner? Okay, so one thing is you, as a comedian, right? I know who's a competition. He died a long time ago. Mohammed Danjuma. It was a competition, but I was actually the one that was actually pushing him to make him a competition because I needed it. You could create a competition because you're using it as a test brand and checking yourself. So you can also decide that this is my yardstick. To know if somebody is a competition, know whether that person is an option if you don't take the job. Know whether they will call that person if you are not available. Know whether the guy is doing something better that is making them see him as a better option than you. Anybody that is a better option than you is a competition. You see, in the creative industry, my competition is actually not a comedian. My competition is either D'banj, Davido, or Wizkid. Why? My competition is when somebody says, instead of pay Alibaba 10 million, let's just add 5 and call one day cool. Only the public relations person will anchor. So this guy that is going to anchor, it's not my competition. It's I'm now opportunity cost. They've decided to go with Davido or one day cool. They say, let's give him that 50 million, he come and perform. They don't even care if the MC doesn't do a good job. But you see, I can come to that event, and by the way I handle the event from beginning to the end, you will not even think of having a band. You will laugh, I'll use the DJ, we'll have a great time. When we finish, you'll be like, oh, thank you so much, that was a great listening. So my competition is not a comedian or an MC. So you get to a point where you don't see anybody. So all of them were prisoners. Joseph didn't see the butler as a competition. He told him the dreams. He was not intimidated. This is somebody that is getting free. You want to be free too. But this person is getting free. That's going beyond competition. It's like, okay, he got freedom. Okay. But you see, you even let your competition market for you. Let me tell you how your competition markets for you. I'm a damn good MC. I'm a comedian. I've done 6 hours straight. Did not repeat any jokes. When I said I wanted to put the body of work online, there were comedians, big comedians that called me and said, bros, you don't pass that one now. You understand? Now, there was a time I went to Milton Keynes to go and do an event. Okay, it's in London. Milton Keynes is somewhere in London. So they called me and I went there to do the event. And they said, after my show at O2, they said, we'll come to Milton Keynes. So they put Kenny Black as well. Dan the Humorous, Ibokoko, and other people. On the day we were to go, they paid me £2,500. They paid Kenny Black 1,500. Kenny Black said, the distance is too far, and he's going, and because he's going there, he's going to lose one show that they're supposed to pay him 2,000. Unless they pay him 2,000, he's not going. And they were arguing. And I told the guy, I said, let's go now. Let's go and do the show. She said, no, but people want to see Kenny Black. I said, So I sat in the car. They went to beg him, then he agreed, and we went. When we were walking in, they had all these cocktail tables, stools, cocktail, so people put their drinks on it. And so, but like 4 guys were standing around one, just drinking. And we walked in. I was walking at the back, Kenny Black, Dan the Humorous, and Emeka Smith, and so they were walking. And the guys were like, Kenny, don't come. Started calling people. Mona, come. Kenny Black, don't come. Kenny Black, don't come. So I was walking in. Emeka Smith stood with them. And when I got to the back, Emeka Smith said, bros, today you're not going to do big boy. You go perform. I said, why? He said, some of the guys there, one of the guys know you. He said he knew you in Uniben, 1988. So he tell them, say, now you get jokes pass. Say they don't bet on £1,000. I said, they like them bet. It's like you put cheetah put dog. You now say, who is faster? Should the cheater now prove that he's faster? I said, it's not necessary. He said, bros, nah. So I said, the person will bet against me go win because I'm not going to do anything. So I went and sat down. The hall started filling up. I mean, the hall started filling up. People were now standing. So I was telling him, he said, bros, they don't call people, say Kenny Black, they perform. I said, okay. So Dan performed. All of them, they did their thing. Dan, they now said, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing Kenny Black. They brought Kenny Black. Kenny Black did 40 minutes. So when he finished, as he was performing, I was writing some things. So when he finished, they now called me. So I took the mic, I walked into the audience. From their table, I would do some jokes. From that one, I'll look another thing, I'll do this. So I did about like 45 minutes. Then I came back to the front of the stage, and I said, now, ladies and gentlemen, let me start my performance. And I did 2 hours straight. When I finished, as I was performing, I was looking at Kenny Black, who was sitting on my table. He was going through those jokes that I wrote. I didn't tell any of them. When I finished, people were now coming to take pictures. That guy now came and said, bros, take. I said, well, he said, no, bros, take. Give me 2,000 pounds. He said, I just won 8,000 pounds. Because he bet with all those guys. And he's so he bet with those guys. Now, for him, is that if he had lost, he would have paid each person 1,000. So he came and said, bros, take, just take, just take. So Emeka Smith was telling me, bros, now the guy with this, the guy with bet, we talk saying go Uniben. I said, you went to Uniben. I said, no, my senior brother go Uniben. My senior brother tell me how you they do jokes. Now, sometimes now I watch a lot of skits. You watch skits and you see jokes that you told in 1990 being dramatized. From the time of Emanuela till now. But it doesn't stop me from the kind of money that I make. So competition is important, but it's supposed to make you get better. For instance, if I crack a new joke today, anybody takes the joke and goes to tell it, I won't tell the joke again. But guess what happens? It means the person is depending on me for jokes. It means the person will be waiting for me. Every time I get new joke, he will come and ask, boss, any new? I'm a source. So you need to put yourself in a place where you don't see yourself as competition. I'll give you, there's a guy that used to be called Stephen Keshi. He's dead now. Stephen Keshi came from Anderlecht and was picking players from here, not even to Anderlecht, was putting them in different clubs. Yeah. Some that played better than him, some that he played better than, he was giving them positions. He will call this person and say, oh, I watched your match. I think your midfield is, okay, no, it's not like the one you play now. Then we used to play attacking midfielder, left winger. So he said, oh, I think that left wing, there's a boy in Nigeria that can play that wing well. Oh, you need a finisher. There's this guy that I know. He finishes like, then he'll bring this in. He will arrange for the person's passport, everything. The guy will come and do a trial. They will sign him. Keshi didn't feel like, because the water we will drink will not pass us. But you see, it's also important to know that you're you have to in your mind know that I'm bigger than this. Bear it in mind that you are bigger than this. So competition only should threaten you if you are not good enough. And if you are not good enough, then you should see competition as a reason to be better. I wanted to give, okay, so this is the example. Some people see me and say, Alina, wow, are you still doing comedy, Seth? We don't see you. It's only these boys that we see now. Let me tell you what the difference is. If this is my man here, and I are at a checkpoint, and you drive past that checkpoint every day. Every day you drive past the checkpoint. And then after 2 weeks, when you drive past, you see him only. You go to that checkpoint, you drive past, you still see him, but you don't see me. He's still a corporal or a sergeant, but you see him at that checkpoint, but you don't see me. I probably have become inspector. I've become ASP. I've become assistant commissioner. I don't need to be at the checkpoint anymore. But you see, in your mind, they don't sack that man. You know the police again. You know the police again. It's just the same way that you go to a banking hall and they send you to bulk, where those people are counting money. You know their own is to count money, they wear masks. And they sign, tape it, kind of bundle this thing, and count your money, give you paper, and you go to teller to go and clear. If you come to that place in 3 years, and the person is still counting money, then he has not grown. But if you come to that place and you say, where is Tunji? You say, Tunji is not here again, he's in the banking hall. Then you come into the banking hall, you see him in a booth. He's no more in bulk. You say, Tunji, how are you? I was asking after, I said, this is where I am now. Then one day you come again. Where's Tunji? He normally helps me where I say, no, he's in that office there now. Then you finish and you say, because he's your friend, you then go, Tunji, how? And I say, I'm the BSM here now. Then you greet him and you leave. Then one day you now come and say, you were just coming, you just bought these new ties too to give to Tunji. Say, Tunji is not here again, he's in headquarters. Then you then find a way to say, but I can't say, but I brought it. Say, okay, we'll send it to him, send it to Tunji. The Tunji now be like, let me even come and see. Tunji now comes. Then he comes out of a car. Driver now open door for him. And I say, Tunji, what's up? I say, okay, I'm GM. Say, Then after that, they now make him regional director for the whole of Southwest. It will be foolhardy for anybody to say, Tunji Nawao, are you still working in UBA? He say, yes. Look, I don't see you in the bulk room anymore. Because you cannot see me at certain events. I asked one man one time. I said, sir, you were telling, okay, he asked me, he said, Ali, are you still doing comedy? I said, yes. He said, but we don't see you. I said, did you come for Aliko's party? He said, no. I said, did you come for Dangote's, for Femi Otedola's birthday party? He said, no. Did you come for Adenuga's party at Banana? He said, no. I said, because I didn't see you there. It looks like you are not a billionaire anymore. He said, what do you mean? I said, because that's where I see all the billionaires. And so as I not see you again, I say, you don't broke. He said, no. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful day.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.